If there's an imminent threat of attack, the president has the authority. But if it goes beyond anything imminent, he must come to Congress for an authorization. So what was the imminent threat here? Well, the short answer is there was none. But the administration has given several shifting rationales, several incompatible arguments with why they believe there was an imminent threat. Let's look at Secretary Rubio last week said that the Iranians were headed in the pathway to one day being able to develop weapons that could reach the continental United States. Well, a threat to reach the United States one day in the future is the very antithesis of imminent. Donald Trump said on Monday the regime had missiles capable of hitting Europe and our bases, both local and overseas, and would soon have had missiles capable of reaching our beautiful America. By soon, the best estimates are that would take years. That is certainly not imminent. Secretary Rubio on Monday had this to say: there was absolutely no imminent, there absolutely was an imminent threat. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action, he said. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces, and we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer high casualties. We knew that if Iran was attacked even by someone else, they would immediately come after us, and we were not going to sit there and absorb a blow before we responded. So on Monday, Rubio says, because Israel was going to attack, we had to preemptively attack. But on Tuesday, the president contradicted his own Secretary of State and said, we were having negotiations with these lunatics, meaning the Iranians. It was my opinion that they, meaning Iran, were going to attack first. They were going to attack if we didn't do it. If anything, the president said, I might have forced Israel's hand. But Israel was ready. So the president says, no. The imminence didn't come from Iran, from Israel. He may have, in fact, forced Israel's hand. And on Tuesday, Hegseth took sides with the president, and not Marco Rubio, saying that Trump's explanation was 100% correct. Okay, so the imminent threat didn't come from anything that Israel was planning to do. It didn't come from missiles that could hit the United States that were years away. What was the other imminent rationale that the administration used? Well, on February 21st, Stephen Witkoff said Iran is, quote, probably a week away from having industrial-grade bomb-making material. Of course, that contradicts what the president said last June with the first Iran war, in which he said and reiterated just this past Saturday that, quote, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program. Well, either we obliterated it or we didn't. And if we obliterated it, it's obviously not an imminent threat. On Monday, Secretary Hegseth told reporters at the Pentagon that the Islamic Republic was building sophisticated missiles and other conventional weapons to shield its plans for a nuclear bomb. Iran had a conventional gun to our head, he said, as they tried to lie their way to a nuclear bomb. Again, no evidence that Iran was on the cusp of a missile that could hit the United States, no evidence that Iran was building the mechanism of a bomb, no evidence of imminence. What about regime change? Is that somehow a rationale for war at all, let alone war without an authorization by the American people in Congress? Donald Trump in 2016 had this to say about regime change. He said, we must abandon the failed policy of nation building and regime change. Even earlier in 2025, Donald Trump said, regime change takes chaos, and ideally, we don't want to see so much chaos. But on Saturday, Donald Trump said, when we are finished, take over your government, he said to the Iranian people. It will be yours to take. Take back your country. On Monday, Secretary Rubio said, we would love to see this regime being replaced. On Tuesday, Donald Trump said someone from within the Iranian regime might be the best choice to take over. But regime change is not an argument that we face an imminent threat. And finally, the last rationale of the administration is, On Saturday, the president posted on Truth Social that, quote, Iran tried to interfere in 2020, 2024 elections to stop Trump and now faces renewed war with the United States. On Sunday, he said and cited Iran's effort to assassinate him as a key factor in ordering the operation that killed Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Quote, I got him before he got me, Trump told ABC News. I got him first. So this was, I guess, the final rationale. Is he wanted to get the Iranians before they got him? So here we are with this shifting series of incoherent rationales, none of them amounting to imminence, none of them posing a direct and imminent threat to the United States. And now we're at war again, where we have tragically lost the lives of American service members, where we are sinking billions and billions of dollars again into a foreign war, without time constraint, without plan. This comes at a great cost to American people, most particularly to our military families. But we are about to get a request for a supplemental appropriation, probably in the tens of billions of dollars, to backfill all the munitions we're using today. That's tens of billions of dollars that will not go into your health care. That's tens of billions of dollars that will not go to reducing the cost of your housing or your groceries. That's tens of billions of dollars that will not go into investing in America. That's tens of billions of dollars that we are literally blowing up over Iran when we face no imminent threat.